the critical social justice movement, tends to use words deceptively. It tends to use words with more than one meaning or with non-standard meanings.
Hey, that's what I said. Definitions are super, super important. Everybody, welcome back to Relentless Learning. Today we're going to be doing another response video. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So the word diversity sounds like it means something everybody wants, right? It sounds like, oh, we're going to have people with different backgrounds, different expertise, different perspectives. We're going to bring them in and we're going to, get them all in one place, and it's going to be a diverse environment. But that's not specifically what diversity means within the ideology of critical social justice. So diversity means hiring people who believe in critical social justice ideology, who might or might not happen to look different or come from a different background.
So he mentions hiring under diversity. So first he talks about being trained in diversity, not really sure exactly what that meant, but then he goes later to explain that it has to be someone that believes in the critical social justice ideology. I don't know what critical social justice is exactly, but he mentions they gotta be a believer of that ideology, otherwise they're kind of the wrong type of diverse. Now, I feel like the most important part, the premise, if you will, of this whole video was that as an explicit example, he mentions the University of Texas at Austin and how they have a diversity, equity, inclusion program. He used the word program that specifically mentions this. Now, I have gone through the page. I could not find anything. So it's a little bit hard to substantiate the video beyond this, because let's assume what he says is true. And that it's a specific type of diversity, regardless of what you look like. It's more in terms of your beliefs relative to the ideology. That is most definitely problematic, right? And what I think of, for example, when the elections were going on in the States, you had members of, let's say, immigrant, BIPOC community members that were supporting Trump and those that were not supporting. Now, I think the important piece is we're not saying we only want people that believe in this, because if that's the case, then that is an indoctrination. That is kind of like a cult-like thing. We want you, but only if you agree with us, right? But again, I couldn't find the article or the piece on the website that he was mentioning. So at least in the context of Canada, that is not what diversity, equity, and inclusion look like. So I don't know if it's kind of like a States versus Canada thing, but could not substantiate this video. So if anyone is from the States or you have some resources further for me to look at, I'd be happy to take a peek. But as I mentioned, I didn't really agree with the definition of diversity that he's putting forth, that he's mentioning that he sees in the States.